In this video, we're going to take a look at the athletic eligibility form, and you'll notice that under member schools only, you'll see a link to this form. I'm going to click on that link, and it's going to take me to a page that is asking for my access code. Now, every school has been given a unique access code, and you can have this code changed at any time. Just call our office, and we'll make the change if you need it. But I'm going to go ahead and type in the current code from Adams Christian, and I'm going to choose them in my pop-up list. And if the code that I've typed in matches the school that I've chosen, when I click submit, it's going to allow me to advance. And so if you do that, if you type in your code and choose your school and get that correct, then it will allow you to move forward. All right, this is the form. This is where you enter your athletic eligibility, and I'm going to start at the point where you actually enter a new athlete for the coming year, somebody that's new to your school, that's not in your database. I think it is fairly obvious that you'll type in their name. It's not going to shut the program down if you don't do the last name first, put a comma, and then use the first name, but please do it that way. It helps with some of the reports that get run later. And next thing that you'll do is enter their street address. Please understand that the Academy Activities Commission is not asking for a post office box. They want a street address. So if and when something comes up dealing with where an athlete lives, I mean, nobody lives in a post office box. They live at a certain place on some road, highway, street, apartment, or whatever. So be sure that's what you put in here. Of course, you put the city, the state, and the zip. Be very careful when you put the birth date in, because this will, if you put in a birth date that is incorrect, and something comes up, and we end up having to meet with one of the commissions about this, they're going to look at what you've put in here, and if it's not correct, that's certainly an uncomfortable situation. And of course, you cannot change the birth date of a child. It is what it is. But we just would emphasize that that's really important information when you enter that. As far as credits that were earned last year, if your student athlete has earned 4 credits or passed 4 courses last year, they're going to be eligible to play, either in high school or in junior high, depending on where they are. But now you're going to see 2 or 3 choices here, and let me go over these briefly. These choices come from the old form that we had. If the child is in the 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, you would not enter an athlete that only passed 3 credits last year. They're not eligible. So whereas you used to have to basically list all the courses they took, say it was 5 or 6 or whatever, we've narrowed that down just to say 4 or more, because the commission only requires 4. If a 10th through 12th grader only passes 4 more, then they are able to play varsity sports. All right, let's move down to the next one. A student that is in the 9th grade would be in a similar situation. They would need to have passed 4 courses. It wouldn't be credits, but it would be 4 courses the previous year. Now, if they did not pass 4, let's say they only passed 3. Let's say they passed 3 and did not, maybe they made a 68 in social studies. The MAIS allows what I'm going to refer to as social promotion. So the child was in the 7th grade, he was in 8th grade, and from the 8th grade he was socially promoted to the 9th grade. That's fine, that's allowable. And as we look at these 2 choices, the student would be allowed to play junior high sports. With social promotion, you can play junior high sports. But that 9th grader who was socially promoted would not be allowed to play varsity sports. So if that's the situation you were in, you would have to choose this choice. If social promotion was involved, then you need to choose the very last choice. If the ninth grader, however, did pass 4 courses the previous year, then this is the choice that you would make for them. So these are the 2 choices that you could make for a ninth grader. These are the choices you'd make for a 10th through a 12th grader. For the 7th and 8th graders, this is the only choice that you would make. Understand for junior high that when you enter the 7th grade, you are allowed 3 years to play. So just to give you a couple scenarios, you could play in the 7th grade and pass 4 courses. You could then go to the 8th grade and actually pass 4 courses. The parents, however, may feel like that the athlete needs to be held back. Our commission does allow the parents to do that. You could hold them back in the 8th grade, which would be the 3rd year in junior high. And after that 3rd year was over, the athlete would advance to the 9th grade, but could not play junior high sports anymore. He or she would have to play varsity sports at that point. So that's one scenario you've got. Another scenario would be an athlete in the 7th grade fails, doesn't pass enough courses. He or she could be socially promoted to the 8th grade. And then he could, let's just say that a student athlete passes and moves on to the 9th grade. Social promotion is only used, it can only be used in the 7th or 8th grade, and it's only if your school uses that policy. Every school doesn't have that policy, but it is allowable in the MAIS. But the Academy Activities Commission does allow that. I know that can get confusing, and if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to call our office. All right, if the student is coming from another school, then they will transfer in basically at the if you're filling this out at the end of the summer, they're coming, their first day is going to be the first day of your school, then that's what you would list. If your school starts on the 15th then of whatever year, then that's how you would list it. Now, if the school is a non-MAIS school, then that's what you would indicate. If it's a foreign exchange student, that's what you would indicate. But if it comes from another member school, be sure that you indicate that it does come from another member school. And there are eligibility questions that can come up, and that's not, we're not going to cover all of that in this setting, but that's how you would show that. If I had a school transfer in, a student transfer in from Alpha, that's how I would show that they had transferred in. All right, as we move over to the right side here, you just indicate what grade the student is in this year. If they receive a school approved, MAIS approved financial aid, then you indicate yes. If they don't, you indicate no. And you'll notice here that we are forcing you to choose yes or no. That's not gonna default to no. A choice has to be made there. The commission, the affairs committee, asked that we make it a very conscious effort on your part to make that decision. The other choices that you have here, if the student has entered the 7th grade, if let's say they're going to be an 8th grader this year, then they would have entered the 7th grade last year, and so you need to indicate that. If they're not in the 9th grade yet, you certainly would indicate that. But if this is the first year that they're in the 9th grade, then you'd indicate that this is the first year in the 9th grade. These dates are important in that it starts a calendar ticking, a clock ticking. We talked a while ago about the junior high. Let's talk a little bit about the high school now. When a student attends the first class in the 9th grade, that locks them down as far as eligibility is concerned. Two things happen. That establishes their eligibility at your school, and it starts a clock ticking. They've got 4 years of varsity competition available to them. The fact that they choose to play or not play has nothing to do with the number of years they have. They could not play in the 9th, not play in the 10th, not play in the 11th.